In this video, we're going to demonstrate 5 simple exercises that focus on upper body strengthening that can be performed in a chair. Again, as with the other videos, if you have watched them, there will be 30 seconds of the exercise and a 30-second rest.
This exercise that we're going to be doing is called the bicep curl, and it's a really good exercise for strengthening the muscles in our upper arms. So what you're going to do is start with your elbows by your sides and slowly bend your elbows until your wrists come up as close as you can to your shoulders, and then you're going to slowly straighten your elbows. So start with a very small weight and then slowly build up as you're comfortable. So it's really important when you're doing this exercise to go really slowly both up and down to get the most strength benefits out of the exercise. So if you can, try to count to 3 on the way up and 3 on the way down. This exercise is called a seated lateral flexion, and it's a great exercise for strengthening the muscles in and around your shoulder and also your back. So for the technique, what you're going to do is start with your elbows slightly bent, and then you're going to slowly lift up your arms and then bring them back down. And during this exercise, imagine that you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together, and this will help you activate the muscles in your upper back so that you can start to strengthen them. So as this may be a movement that you haven't done before, and it is quite a difficult exercise, we'd recommend starting without a weight at first to get used to the technique. And then once you get comfortable with doing it without weights, you can start by adding a very light weight, like a half a kilo or 1 or 1.5 kilos. And then you're just going to repeat the same movement with your elbows slightly bent, concentrating on squeezing the shoulder blades back and together. And then as the exercise gets easier, you can progress the weights as you're comfortable. This exercise is called a bicep curl to press. So what we're going to start with is by sitting up nice and straight and activating our core. So squeeze the muscles in your stomach and imagine that you're pushing out into your waistband. Then you're going to slowly bend your elbows, bringing your wrists as close as you can to your shoulders. You're going to then twist your elbows and your wrists 180 degrees, so your wrists are facing forwards, and you're then going to press up to the ceiling and straightening your elbows as Jennifer showed you. Then you're going to bring your elbows back down, keeping your wrists facing forward. You're going to twist 180 degrees again, and then you're going to straighten your elbows. So that's 1 rep. And it's really important to remember to twist your elbow 180 degrees, both on the way up and on the way down, to make sure that you have the correct technique. So as this is quite a difficult technique, especially at the start, we'd advise you to start without weights until you feel very comfortable with the technique. And then you can start by adding a very light weight and slowly building up that weight as you get more comfortable with the exercise. And remember to do the exercise nice and slowly, so for each movement it should take you about 3 seconds. So now 3 seconds down, and twist, and 3 seconds down. This exercise is called a seated front raise, and it's a great exercise for strengthening the muscles in and around your shoulder. So you're just going to start by sitting in the chair, activating your core, so squeezing the muscles in your stomach and pushing out into your waistband. You're going to slightly bend your elbows and slowly raise them up to about eye level or as high as is comfortable for you. You're then going to slowly lower them back down. So just start with no weight first until you get comfortable with the technique and until it's not very difficult. And just make sure you're going nice and slowly, and you can count 3 seconds up and 3 seconds down. And when you're very comfortable with doing it with no weight, you can start by adding a very light weight and just doing the same movement, 3 seconds up and 3 seconds down. And when the weight you're at gets too easy, you can slowly start to increase the weight by about ½ a kilo at a time. This exercise is called a seated row, and it's great for strengthening the muscles in your arms, in and around your shoulder, and also your upper back. So we're just going to start by standing up nice and tall and engaging our core, so squeezing the muscles in your stomach and pushing out into your waistband, and you should feel pressure in your stomach. Now we're going to make sure that we bend from the hips and not bend from the back. So keeping a straight back, bend from the hips and lean slightly forward. We're then going to bring down our arms and we're going to slowly bend up our arms, keeping our elbows in close by our sides, and then slowly back down. And while you're doing this, imagine that you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades back and in together. And you should feel this exercise working the muscles in your upper back. When you're very comfortable with the technique and without the weights, you can start by adding a light weight and repeating the same movement, making sure that you keep a straight back throughout.